So welcome back to my channel. This is Dom and a slightly more organised tabletop for my Bruce's in Ireland project. So I picked up some of these cheap, I guess they're kind of takeaway cartons, very cheap, just to keep the figures together. So I've got miscellaneous, oh no, those are, yeah, miscellaneous lords in there, cavalry in there. What kind of cavalry? Men-at-arms-y types. Should put some labels on them. That's the miscellaneous box. Not quite sure how I'm going to use those. Whole load of men-at-arm type figures with various weapons. In here is the Kerns. So I mentioned before I've been primarily using Wargames Atlantic plastics. So these fellas. Dark Age Irish Warriors. They are earlier than they should be, but you know, looking at the images there, or looking at the pictures of manuscripts and what have you, and illustrations of the day, or of the period, sorry, there's not an awful lot of difference between a Dark Age Irishman and a medieval Irishman. But I've also picked up a box of these are Gripping Beast Dark Age Irish, again, just to mix them all in together, because the only thing I would say with the these are the Wargames Atlantic, compare them to the, oops, I think this is a Gripping Beast one, sorry, a Perry one. Actually, they're not as bad scale-wise as I thought they were. When I first started to do them, these look very big. Now that's a Gripping Beast miniature there beside them. So anyway, it's giving a bit of variety, which will be fantastic. I love this guy with a sling. He's one of the Welsh range from Footsore for Baron Wars. So anyway, I'm working through the Kerns, and I need a lot of Kerns. I've done one unit, which I'll show you in a minute, and a second one is pretty much done. In fact, by the time this video goes live, I may well shoehorn that one into the illustrations. So the idea is to have a mixed bag, because I've just had, I mean, the thing about the Wargames Atlantic is, by the time you've done one box, which is 40 figures, they begin to look a bit samey, and particularly now I've got two boxes of them to use. I thought I can spread them out, intersperse them. I might even try and do some head swaps from Dark Age, from the Gripping Beast packs, and see where we go. So anyway, that's coming along. In here, what's in here? Oh, these are dismounted. Oh no, these are the leaders. This is the leader groups. I picked up from Gripping Beast a couple of their specialty figures, just to put into the units, really, just because I thought they'd add a bit of fun to it. So these are Dark Age Irish Warriors. I forget which ones they are, but you can check out on the Gripping Beast website. This is I showed this one earlier. This is a figure of a copy of Bruce, really nice model. So what else we've got here? There are, oh, these Gallo Glass. Sorry, somebody picked me up quite rightly on my pronunciation. So there's my Viking warriors. Now what I've done, some head swaps. Also Martin, Seventh Son, printed out for me a Dark Age Warlord that Wargames Atlantic did in their 3D print STL subscription files, and it actually came with a number of different head swaps. So there's one, for instance, and it fits actually pretty well on these Victrix Viking figures, Norman figures, sorry. So there's the rest of them. So I've done a unit of those. I'll show in a minute. I plan to have 2, maybe 3 units of Gallo Glass, I think. That's sort of where I'm heading at the moment. So there we go. And in the box here, this is Boniacs. Again, got them wrong last time when I was talking about them. These are a mixed bag again. Here's some... that's actually one of the Gripping Beast Dark Age figures with the double-handed axe. It's a Perry one, I think. So mixed bag, but I've also picked up some metal I'm not sure whether these are going to work. This is now these are gallo glass. No, they're not. They're Gilgal from the Dark Age range of Gripping Beast. They're metals, and I just thought, wonder whether they'd fit in. I might intersperse a few of these into the Boniacs, just for a bit of variety more than anything else. So anyway, that's that, and also Ian at Flags of War. I put a big order in for a number of flags, just sort of give me a bit of variety. Now I'm going to have to be a little bit judicious with the truth in terms of which flags I use, because it's really hard to find you know, exactly what flags were used, and actually find them commercially available is really difficult. I did try and persuade Ian that he ought to do a range, but apparently he's got rather a lot of other things to do at the moment, which is understandable. However, I did find I had to do a shout out to Tales from the Shed HQ. Now, he recommended to me this book. This is The War of the Bruces, Scotland, England and Ireland, 1306 to 1328. It's awesome, absolutely awesome, by Colm McName. McName? I probably butchered that as well. It's a really, really good book. I've thoroughly enjoyed working my way through it. I've started actually on the Irish section, but it does cover, you know, his Robert Bruce rise to become king, the war against the English, culminating in Bannockburn, and then the raids of northern England and obviously into Ireland as well. But what it does do is it talks a lot more detail than I've managed to find anywhere else about the campaign itself, but also some of the lords that were with him. Now that's allowed me then to go and search out those lords, and also mentioning some of the lords on the other side. And as I had read, it talks very strongly about you know, a couple of the Irish lords supported the Bruces when they landed, because they saw it as a good way to do it, good way to, you know, get feather their own nest, so to speak, and all but as many sort of sat on the fence and sort of fluctuated between helping the English and helping the Scots, depending on where, you know, where the best chances were, they thought, in terms of advancing themselves. And also there were some that did side with the English. So I've got some names. I've also got some lords for both sides, which allowed me to go into a rabbit warren of Google research and pull off some flags, which I'll then hopefully be able to turn into proper flags, which has been great. So thank you, Tales from the Shed HQ, much appreciated. Check out his channel, by the way. Yeah, really excited by that book, and I will be reading the rest of it, even though I've just read the Irish bit so far. What else have we got? So a couple of people, including Mark, I think he was the first one, highlighted the fact that I might want to look into some of the Fireforged figures for this period. So I picked up a box of mounted sergeants, and also some medieval archers, 24 of those. So that should cover everything I need in terms of cavalry and archers. I've struggled a bit to find things that would be, so this is me all over, guys. I mean, I like to have everything here, and then I can just then start painting through my way through them, rather than just sort of buying them as I need them. In my head it makes sense because it saves on postage and what have you. In reality, it just means I have an even bigger stash. I also, when I was ordering from Gripping Beast, I did pick up, now I think these are Welsh light cavalry, and I just picked up an army deal or a unit deal of these fellows, because I think they'll do perfectly well as Irish light horse, which I want in both of the armies. And I've struggled to find anything that does sort of plastic Dark Age, early medieval, hairy-arsed cavalry. There's lots of medieval knights. There's lots of men-at-arms, hobblers, but mounted archers, but not that many that I've seen, not that I've seen any of just sort of wild men on horses kind of thing, which is what I want my Irish to look like. Also, I think that's all the new figures I've got. The new Baron Wars Kickstarter Outremer arrived the other day, but I didn't really buy into it big in terms of figures because I've got more than figures than I knew what to do with. I did buy the castle, but there's a couple of figures in there that might transplant, but most of them are like military orders and stuff, which just won't work for this period. But I did pick up some Reconquer Knights, thanks to Martin, 7th Son, who printed these out for me. I mean, they're just lovely, but they are a touch early for this period, and I'm just working out whether I can justify shoehorning them into this force, or whether I save them. I mean, I can hear you, Leslie, saying, what about my war in Sicily force, my Normans in Sicily force? Well, the trouble is I've got so many Norman cavalry for that, I really don't need any more. Now you could say, why did you get these done? Well, Martin did it for me without asking, which was lovely. But they are such beautiful figures, and I would really like to do a unit of them. There's 9 there, plus, yeah, I might just, that's where one of the Outremer figures might slot in. So I don't know quite how I'm going to use those. They're too early, really, for this. I'm not particularly pure in terms of the figures being perfect for the period, but these guys have all got nose guards and obviously have a heavy Norman influence, which had largely disappeared by this period of the Bruces in Ireland. So I don't know what to do with those yet, but I have still got all the footsore knights from the Baron Wars, which will be worked through. These are being prepped, ready to go. That's actually a Giants in miniature figure that I thought I'd throw into this unit. There we go, some lovely figures, really nice indeed. So yeah, that's where we are. Also, somebody, I was on Alex Storm of Steel's live stream the other night, and somebody talked about, in fact he talked about, and then somebody said the name of the book, a book about wars in Ireland, which is quite an old book, so I've ordered that as well, because again it could be nice reading and sort of inspiration for the actual battles, although he said himself it's a little bit dated and might not entirely 100% accurate anymore, but yeah, that's my middle name, not 100% accurate. So what else are we doing? So progress on the actual painting. I'll show some close-ups of these images of these units fairly soon, but in fact let's bring it over. So on top of all the figures I already showed you from last time, this is where I am with the next lot of painting. So there's my first unit of gallow glass. Oops. I'm a bit too close now, hang on, there we go. My first unit of gallow glass, mainly guys with big turned choppers. There we go, so that's them. So I'm sort of aiming to have 3 units of those, and what I've done, you'll see with the different sort of style of basing, they're all on 60 frontage based units, which by convention in Hail Caesar, although it has changed in the new edition, they've removed the sort of figure count, so you can put as many or few figures as you like in your figure. It's all about the unit front rather than the actual number of figures, which is good. But I've used the opportunity to sort of show sort of what used to be called in Wargames Research Group parlour, heavy infantry, medium infantry, light mediums, light infantry, light heavy troops, and I've tried to sort of get that sort of concept into the basing. So for the gallow glass I've done 5 figures on a base, just to space them out a bit. On the kerns, which here's one unit, there's another one just about finished, it might make this video, I don't know yet. I've only put 4 figures, just to show that they're a little bit looser in formation, a little bit lighter troop wise. So these are the Wargames Atlantic figures, And then again, showing the first unit bowman. I'm only going to have 2. These are Perry 100-year war plastics. You can see I've put all 6 on there to symbolise the fact they are much closer ranked. So there's a unit of there. Now what I did make a bit of a cock up there was that I'd forgotten, and I'd been painting Napoleonics, and so I was sort of mid-flow with Napoleonics. And Napoleonics I'll do 24-man units, whereas for this period I'm doing 3 bases for a unit, a regular size unit, so that would be 6, 12, 18 figures. So I've actually got an extra base, which means that archer unit is now 24 strong, 4 bases, which means it's a large unit. I'll probably, because I've got those other archers, it may be I can swap and change. We'll see how they compare. Also showed already, you can see the backs of them here. This is a small unit of footsore men-at-arms that I'm going to call mercenary men-at-arms for the period. And they painted up okay. Yeah, cavalry are always a bit awkward, I think. Somebody did point out on my Facebook page, or the Plastic Crack Facebook page, that by convention the emblems for the animals actually pointed inwards towards the guy holding it. So this one's fine, but that one's not. But my excuse is I'm stupid. And finally, this is oops, let's make some space. Command base. This is going to be one of the Irish lords. This is oh gosh, is it King Connor of Connaught, I think it was, who was one of the sort of fluctuating commanders of the period for the Irish. He sort of supported the Irish, then he sort of supported the English, then he went back to the he sort of supported the Scottish, he then sort of supported the English, and then he sort of went back to the Scots, and then he decided to go it alone and try and take over his own little area of Ireland, and was absolutely annihilated by a combined English and Irish force. Primarily I chose it because I thought that flag, which is the Connaught flag from the period, just sort of looked like something out of Lord of the Rings, really, but it just tickled me, so that's why I picked that one. So in my mind, this is the dude here, and he's just taking message from one of the Scottish, or could be English knights, telling him to get his butt in gear and come and support. So that's in my mind what's happening. So we've done okay. I think the figures are coming together well. So I've got a unit of Kerns as well, another unit same size as that one, which hopefully will make this video. If it doesn't, it's pretty much straight after that. And we're on to the next stage. So I'm not going to be around for a couple of weeks. I'm away on holiday. So there's going to be a bit of a pause on the project and indeed on the videos. But then normal service will resume, and I'm sure it will give me plenty of time to read through these various books and magazine articles and come back with even more ideas about what I want to do. Anyway, there you go. That's the Bruce's episode 3, I think it is. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like, share, subscribe, do all that good funky stuff. And you stay safe, stay well, and I will see you again soon. This is Dom, signing out.